What's
Hey
up?
guys.
What's up?
What's up?
How are you all? Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys.
It
I
does
love you
it
guys.
I know.
does it say
we're-
something about us that none of us are celebrating with like partners?
I was just going to say that. We're
doing a
spending
podcast.
our Valentine's Day with you all.
With you and a glass of bourbon.
Yes. Welcome to Orlando Brokers and Bourbon, the podcast where we explore Central Florida real estate and we indulge in the finest bourbon Publix has to offer. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
So just a quick introduction. I'm Matt Allen. I am broker owner of Matt Allen Real Estate Team here in Southwest Orlando. I've been in business for 22 years and try to do the best work I can in the community. And yeah, that's a little about me.
My name is Lauren Foley. I'm a realtor as well here in Central Florida. I've been in business for a little over 3 years, transitioned from the hospitality industry. So that's why these guys trust me so much with the fun stuff Foley.
Fun stuff, Foley.
Fun stuff, Foley.
You love that, Bo.
I love it.
I
love
do.
it. My name is
And-
Bo Julian. I'm broker owner of Julian Properties. I'm going into my 28th year here of real estate in the Orlando market, and I'm looking forward to making it the best year yet.
Yes.
But were you
So-
4 when you started?
And
Yeah, yeah. I actually
wow,
was.
that was an age crack.
I remember my first open house. I was actually younger than that.
He had to take a nap.
My mom was a broker, so.
So what's
So
going
what are we
on,
drinking
everybody?
today, guys?
So I'll start. First of all, check my glass out. This is for Halloween, for
Oh, that's cute. Valentine's?
Valentine's Day. It says, "Do not ever let me go." Do not ever let me go.
Aw.
All right.
What's in the
Tonight-
donut glass?
Tonight I'm drinking Redemption. It's a wheated bourbon. Wheated, if you don't know, is supposed to be a little sweeter than the typical bourbon. I'm not a huge fan of this one. One trick I've learned is that if you look to see where it is distilled, and this one is distilled in Indiana. Do you know that? What about Indiana? So don't all speak at once. Indiana, geez, tough crowd tonight. Indiana is called MGP. So they mass produce whiskeys and bourbons, and people can put them under their names, like Smoke Wagon, for instance. I believe Smoke Wagon is an MGP. So it's all distilled in Indiana and then shipped to wherever to be put in charred barrels or whatever they're going to do to mix
Like
it.
mass production style.
Correct. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Bo, what are you drinking?
So tonight I got a little High West High Country. I believe that's out of
Nice.
Park City. I actually drank this the first time when I was on a snow ski trip about a year or two ago, and I'm a huge fan. And what's really cool, actually, funny enough, this week not only am I drinking it, but I got one of these crazy Facebook little ads, and they are joining with Prisoner Wine, and they're making Prisoner Wine in the casks of the High West, and I ordered 2 bottles from Facebook. So
That
stay
sounds
tuned.
awful. Prisoner already is high alcohol content, and you get really buzzed off one glass. Can you imagine when it comes out of those barrels?
Well, we're gonna find out,
Now,
kids.
is Prisoner the one where you take your phone and put it up to the code on the thing and the face comes alive? No? Am I
I've never heard
thinking
of that.
something?
I've not heard of that little treat.
You
Is
know
that
what
kinda
I'm
like
thinking of?
the
It's
mirror
like
you say red
19
rum, red rum.
crimes.
Lauren, what do you got in there tonight?
I have the last bit of Maker's Mark 101. Wait, can you see it? And I say last bit because apparently there's a bourbon bandit in my house. This was my birthday present last year, and I never cracked it open, but somebody did. And
Well, I don't think it was London.
It definitely wasn't London. She has been acting a little weird lately, but it wasn't that.
I'm gonna go with it wasn't her.
Now,
Oh.
have you gotten that Blanton's yet?
Not yet. I did say 2 weeks though, so if I don't have it by next week, then you can call me out.
Okay. Deal.
7 more days.
It's looking
to go.
grim. I will say it's looking grim.
Oh, wait.
A little more challenging than I thought.
We got to get used to the sound effects. Thank you,
That's
Bo.
right. That's right.
So, what's been happening in your lives? Tell us a little bit about what's the week been like. I know, Bo, you said you've been a little bit of a tough week for you.
Been a little bit crazy this week. Yeah, we had a lot of balls in the air, but a lot of exciting stuff. So we've had some pretty good activity on some of our listings, and have a little exciting news coming out here pretty soon. I was interviewed for one of the trade publications here in the Orlando area, so more details to come in the future on that. Been doing some work around the house. Had a lot of people here. It's been kind of a little bit of a crazy week, but anyway, I'm happy to be here right now and hanging out with you guys.
Awesome. Lauren, what have you
Happy
been
to
up
have
to?
you. Just,
Yes.
real estate and research.
We're
There's
always
a lot
happy
of
to have
research that goes into these podcasts. So a little bit of real estate, a little bit of research, doing a lot of writing, putting some stuff together for my newsletter. So just
Cool.
all the above, guys. How about you, Matt?
Same, just kind of rolling along this week. Yeah, Bo, we had a funny story today with the showing. This is just we got a couple of funny stories we're going to share with you today, but so we got 2 showing requests on our vacant piece of land we have in Windermere, which if anybody's looking for vacant piece of land, it's a pretty nice one.
On Lake Butler.
Yes. So we get 2 separate requests, and I think they were like a couple hours apart. So this was yesterday. Bo goes to follow up with them, and the agent goes, my agent or my buyer double booked. Do you want to finish the story, Bo?
Basically,
She was
that's right.
talking to
That's
you.
exactly right. I basically reached out to both agents to get the feedback as a good realtor should, and
Absolutely.
so I
Always.
did my part and followed up. And of course, when I followed up with the one agent, that agent got back to me and gave me some good feedback. Didn't check all the boxes for the buyer this time for them, but that was okay. But then when I got word from the second agent that he never showed it, it was a.
I was just gonna hit that button.
That's because it turns out that the buyers got 2 realtors double booked to show the same piece of property. So note to self, kids, ask your buyers if they're working with a realtor and stay off of Zillow, people.
100%.
Yeah, they definitely double click that contact agent button.
Right?
That's
Right?
That's it. That's what happens. So anyway,
buyers will definitely do that. They'll, surf from person to person. Typically whoever answers first, they usually go with them. But this person decided to book 2 appointments with 2 different agents. So,
Yep.
Anyway,
and that happens. That's our industry. So, for any potential buyers out there, I do recommend that you pick one broker to work with.
Just one.
That looks out for your best interest, and likely one that has experience and expertise.
Oh, that was a good plug, Bo. Nice work.
Thank you.
Lauren, you're
Matthew.
up, kid. Tell us a little bit about what's happening. I want to know what's happening in Central Florida.
Well, I'm pretty excited about 2 spots. Last week, I wanted to tell you guys about this one that just opened, but we didn't get to it. But it's called Judson's Live Experience. It's over at the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center. And I'm going to read right from the website what they say they are, is a riff on a legendary listening room of the world's most musical cities, which sounds pretty cool to me. I don't know about you guys, but it's meant to be more of an intimate experience. There's every time you book, you get a 90-minute experience. You sit down. You have the option to order from their small plates menu with craft cocktails. They also have an in-house sommelier with hand-picked wines and beers. Yeah, so be a nice little date night. Being that it's Valentine's, that might be something you guys want to put on your date night list for the ladies.
That's nice. That sounds nice.
So
Reservations required?
Yeah, what is the experience too? I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, so it's live music.
Oh, it's live music.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
I probably didn't explain that, but they're doing live music. It's about a 50 to 60-minute show, but you have the seating for about 90 minutes. And I think they do 2 seatings. I'd have to double check, but
that's pretty.
And
cool.
then the other one is called Stadium Room Orlando. This one sounds pretty cool too. I don't know if you've been to a lot of simulation places, but those are really kind of taking off here everywhere. Actually, I went to one recently in New York City, but there's more opening here in Orlando, and this one is right on iDrive. It's family friendly. They have a kids menu. As of right now, they're opening during the weekday, 4 p.m. to close, and then they're open during the day on the weekends, 11 a.m. But they have about 13 different simulation experiences. You can book a private room. No. They claim to have a really cool chef inspired menu, and again, cocktails and all that kind of stuff. So it's a fun family friendly spot.
That's really cool. Cool too. Awesome concepts. Different stuff. Love it.
I like they claim chef inspired chicken fingers and French fries.
Well, I don't want to lead our listeners down the wrong path. I have to try something first, if I think it's
cuisine.
Exactly.
Love it.
Allegedly.
So you guys heard, and this is just rumors, so I don't want to pretend like I know something more than I know, but I saw it where I know. Have you guys ever been to the H here in town, here on this side of town?
Over at Dr. Phillips at the marketplace?
Yeah. Did you guys hear about the
cover charge?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to mention.
I didn't look too far into it.
Is there truth to that?
Is it 150? I can't remember.
I think it was
$50 cover charge for men only.
Well, yeah, yep. I have heard that. I haven't been since they reopened after the major renovation. Mm-hmm. But I did hear that story. So interesting stuff. I know the London House, I believe, has a similar concept on Friday and Saturday nights after 10. I believe not 100, but I think it's $100 for a similar experience that you just get the chance to get access. But I don't know that it's for men only. I think it's per person if you're not a member of the club. So I think the H is
right.
A little different.
But I would say for our listeners, the difference between the H and the London House is that the London House is a membership-driven establishment. So part of the fee that you're probably paying to get in there is to get access to it and try it out, where normally you wouldn't be able to do so. But they do allow it on the weekends after hours. The H, that's just a restaurant. You can go anytime, but why pay money to get into a restaurant that you're going to spend money at? I don't know.
Because it's a nightclub.
Yeah.
And I heard that and I was like, this is crazy. I mean, of course, back in the day when I was going to nightclubs, it was like I thought $15 was a lot to get in, but I guess 50 is the new 15 now.
But I have to say though, like it's pretty normal to pay for like an entry when you're going into a club, but when you know that your guests are spending money on food and drink, right? Like that's supposed to be a dinner experience with the DJ. It's not meant to be like a full-on nightclub. They're not moving the tables out of the way. I think they're just paying for their renovations. It's my guess.
Well, we'll see how that concept works. We'll drive by there on Saturday night and see how many people are in there.
All right, I'll pick everybody up. Let's go.
Well, Matt, what's new in real estate news in terms of the market? You have anything for us today?
I do. Interest rates seem to be what is driving what is happening, and this is in my opinion. Obviously, y'all will be able to talk about it in a minute, but what I'm seeing is interest rates are driving what's happening in the market. I know we talked about it last podcast. When are they going to drop? They actually just went up, and I think we were talking about it earlier. They're now in the 7% range, and I don't want to be doom and gloom because I definitely think they're going to come back down. And I know we were talking to a mortgage professional who said they'll be coming down a little later in the year. Um, but that goes hand in hand right now with affordability. People are looking at, I just did a video about this morning. PITI, so the principal, taxes, insurance. So, your interest is huge in your monthly payment, because that's really what everybody's looking at, is what's their monthly payment. So interest and insurance is going to be a huge factor right now. So I think those things are what's kind of holding, especially those first time home buyers. And what I would say, if you're a first time home buyer, and again, I'll get your opinions on this, but if I was a first time home buyer right now, I would be looking at the new construction market. The reason being is they're offering the buy down rates, the teaser rates, usually for 4 years, 5 years, where they're going to get you down below 5%. They're offering a ton of incentive programs. Uh, they're offering upgraded lots, anything they can do to get you into the house. So um, one of the things I've been telling a lot of my first time home buyers is make sure you're exploring that, because there's inventory pretty much in every price point. And I think you don't have to go through. I've been hearing some multiple offer chirping in the background that people have been going through that in the resale. Obviously, you don't need to go through that with new construction. So that's kind of
Well,
where I've been seeing. What about you guys? What are you hearing, or what are your thoughts on that?
I agree all the way around, Matt. And I definitely have been seeing incentives coming to my inbox like crazy for that new
Right?
construction. Yeah. And I think
well,
I think that there is a real big opportunity for first time home buyers to get in and get something, especially with the interest rates that they're offering there if you use their lender, the new
yeah.
construction.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I got a phone call today. You're talking about new construction versus existing construction. I had a friend of mine's mom call me today. She actually hired a friend of the family as a realtor, and
Was that you?
no, no, it was not me. It was not me. Anyway, and so long story short, they've had some complications. The buyer is an FHA buyer, only putting about 2.5, 3% down. And the home is an older property with a roof that is in excess of 20 years of age. And so initially, the contract was for a contingency for the seller to contribute toward the buyer's prepaids and closing costs. But they did not make any provisions for the roof to come up in the inspection. So really, the broker should have prepared the seller, of course, for that shoe to drop. First and foremost. Then, secondly, when the buyers came back saying that the roof age had expired, it had extended its useful life, and that it needed to be replaced, they came back and said, "We want a new roof in addition to the closing costs. In addition to, we want to make sure that you'll take whatever the house appraises at." Which is an interesting story and situation because, in that case, with an FHA borrower, obviously with only a 2.5 or 3% spread, the appraiser is going to look at that very, very, very carefully. And that is going to potentially create another shoe to drop for the seller, because now they can go through replacing the roof, paying these closing costs to only not appraise or appraise less than the purchase price after the sellers come out of pocket all this other money to try to accommodate a buyer that's really just eking through to get into a home.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, to your point, unless you're a buyer that is prepared for putting a little bit of money into an older home, I think that going the new construction route for those reasons, insurance primarily is going to be your big headache.
Huge. It's huge right now.
And so that's going to be a big one. So there is definitely a push for that. So Matt, I think you're right on, and houses can be expensive. As they get older, they do require maintenance and upkeep, and I don't think a lot of people anticipate that, and that creates a lot of problems for them down the road. So good advice, I believe, for a first-time home buyer if they can get into a new home community and it's in the right location. I think that that's a good direction.
Yeah. I will also say too, like, as much as we like to think that having a mortgage is a fixed payment, it's not always fixed when you have taxes and insurance increase, which recently happened for me. My mortgage went up a little bit. I have a friend, hers went up like I think 11,000 for the year, and she realized she had an insurance company that instead of dropping her, they just raised it like crazy. So she had to go and shop, but she got that bill in the mail and was like, what? My mortgage went up by what?
I'm hearing this across the board. People keep telling me, my clients are like, hey, who do you have for insurance? Because my rate just went up triple, quadruple, or even better is, and I'm sure your guys are getting this as well, as, hey, they just told me they're just dropping me altogether, and you're on your own type thing. So that's going to play a huge, I would put that in second place as far as what that's doing to the market. I know everybody wants to look at pricing. They want to look at inventory. Obviously, inventory is huge. But again, I still think if the interest rates drop, I don't think we're going to have an inventory problem. As bad of an inventory problem is what I want to say. Not an inventory problem, because I think that's going to happen for Lauren. What was that?
That was just a little refill over here while we
your
talk.
Sound is fantastic.
A little nip. That might.
Anyway, so that's kind of where we're at. Any other thoughts or anything that you guys want to add as far as what's happening or advice you're giving out this week?
Just no, I don't really. I think you kind of touched on what is kind of current situation. But we could talk about something a little bit different, which would maybe be if I can just play with my little sound effect.
I was gonna do that for you. The whale of the week.
The whale of the week. That's right, Matt.
To be honest, I still think I like Lauren's version.
Yeah, mine was a little bit better. I'm just kidding.
Would you do it one more time for
Go
it?
ahead, Lauren. Give it to it.
That's awesome.
You're welcome, listeners.
That's really good. I like it. I'm impressed. We are going to record that. That's going to be the new soundbite.
Can I add, though, before we go to the whale, that you were asking for advice? I think that right now is such an important time to work with a realtor or broker that knows what they're doing and can guide you through the process with your example of the recent under contract story that you just told us, Bo. Also the example of the situation with the double booking. I think that those are just clear stories that you should 100% find someone that you trust that can guide you. Now we can whale it.
Go ahead. Whale away, Lauren. Come on. I need it.
By the way,
now, Matt, you got to put up my pictures for me, please.
I'm getting to that. By the way, who are you voting for at the Super Bowl this weekend? Well, I'm getting this up.
I didn't really care, but I guess just because the 49ers hadn't been in so long, I kind of wanted them to win.
Okay.
But looks like the Chiefs did a back to back.
How about you, Bo?
What do I think about the Super Bowl this weekend?
No, I mean,
like who were you looking to win?
For?
Well, I actually wanted the Chiefs to win, but I put money on the 49ers.
You're an idiot. Bo, you're supposed to send your juju towards the one that you want to win for monetary value.
I don't really sports gamble quite a bit, and I found this application, and I went on and I signed up, and I was like, called a friend, and my friend said, go with the points.
Nice friend. How much did you lose?
Yeah, we'll talk.
Or did you get it with the points?
Not that much. I think I won 2 side bets. I believe I ended up, whatever. It wasn't that significant, but anyway, next time I'll just go with my gut.
Man, I had the perfect numbers for whatever they call those things, fantasy. Uh, they have the numbers. I had 7 and 4,
Oh, oh,
and all anybody
Like
had
a
to do is,
spread? Is that what they call it? A spread?
or no, what are those
it's
things
the
called? You
boxes.
sign up for the where the
Oh,
boxes is, and you can
Yes,
win so much per
right.
quarter. I
Yes.
thought for sure this year I'd win, and the game numbers were so odd that we weren't even close to a 7 to 14 or something like that. Anyway, I was just curious.
Yeah.
So,
oh,
Mr. Blow,
trailer
Super
one.
Bowl though, great Super Bowl. Let's say it was a great Super Bowl.
and
Let's
It
go.
was good.
Yeah.
a great meme which seems to be going all over the
Most
internet,
most
including Miss Lauren's Instagram post.
yes.
Oh,
Most, I don't know if you guys saw that fact or not, but it was the most watched television since the landing on the moon.
I did see that. I think
did
that's
not.
the Taylor effect.
That is the Taylor effect. Are you kidding me?
Taylor
I mean, it is the Taylor effect. The Swifties have come out in force.
Right.
I have seen,
And that
the
was
funniest-
only the second time that they'd gone into overtime in a Super Bowl. Isn't that crazy?
really.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this was the first time since their new overtime rules that they just implemented, where before it used
Yeah.
to be like whoever scores first touchdown wins the game.
100%.
This was everyone gets possession.
I'm trying to explain this to my wife, and I'm like, I have no idea what. I didn't know they changed it. I didn't know what it was. I'm like, normally it's first one scores, it's over, but I don't know how I feel about this new process, but
Yeah. I
anyway,
got some more commercials in. I know that.
yeah, sure.
We get that would be a whole nother episode because
Yes.
but we need
That's
to
what
talk
we'll
about
do.
the whale. We
Okay.
can't do any more whale sounds without talking about the whale.
No, we're
All
done.
right.
Yeah, we won't do any more well said. Oh, Matt, he got a hold of my button. I love it. All right.
Here
So,
we go.
Yeah, here we go. So we touched on it last week, actually. We weren't discussing it, but I was talking about Johnny Damon's house. So I was kind of thinking about it this week, and we were thinking the whale of the week. So why don't we use Johnny Damon's home as the whale of the week? 6004 Cartmel Lane, Windermere, Florida, 34786. This beautiful 9-bedroom, 13 full baths, 4 half baths home has got 20,240 heated square feet and
20,000.
30,949 total under roof square feet. It is listed at $30 million. Now, what is really, really special is it is on the Butler chain and it is on 4.7 acres. So when Johnny built this house,
That
he
is
did
insane.
it right. This house has it all. I mean, if you just go back to the aerial shots. I mean, you've got the basketball court.
I mean,
You've
it's a
got the
compound.
volleyball court. You've got the splash pad. You've got the jungle gym.
I
You've
need a
got
splash
the hot
pad.
tub. You got the pool. You got, I mean, the fire pit. I mean, just look at that. Just that alone, not including the dock. I mean, it's tricked out. That swimming pool looks like something you'd see at the W or something like that. I mean, it's really cool. So, on the inside, I mean, he's got a barber shop as you flip through these photos,
Yeah.
or a hair salon.
I'll get there.
He's got a home gym. I mean, he's got multiple aquariums. He's got a bar.
I just want a room like
game room.
this. Is he a musician?
Probably. He probably or his kids. He's got quite a few kids, so he might.
This looks like a
jam
bar
out
on Sand Lake Road.
I know.
I mean, who does
Let's
this?
meet there for happy hour. It has the Vines feel.
Right?
Flipping bowling alley, just in case you were.
Yeah, you
needing
want to throw that out there because those listeners that can't see what we're looking at, we can explain.
Oh, they're
it.
not seeing it?
Movie
Oh, the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. We're
yeah,
still
yeah.
new to this.
So the bowling alley, it's got a home theater, it's got a game room. I mean, the kids. Johnny did it right. I mean, he said, "I got kids. This is gonna be for the kids, and it is for the kids and the adult kids too." I mean, there's not a thing in that house you can't do. I wouldn't even leave. It's pretty amazing. So good luck to him and to the listing agent, which unfortunately is not us, but she's a lovely lady, and
Yeah,
we wish her
she's
the very
awesome.
best, and maybe we can bring her a buyer. So anybody looking to purchase 6004 Cartmel Lane, feel feel free to reach out to any of the three of us, and we'll be happy to
Look at that
schedule a
pool.
private tour. Proof of funds will be required. He's a good guy, and I'm wishing the best. I don't know where he's going to go,
No.
but hopefully he won't go too far away because he is an Orlando homegrown boy. So
Yeah.
hopefully he sticks close by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, if he's out there and he's listening, we have a couple of lots that maybe he could buy if he wants to stay on the chain.
There you go.
That's
Hey,
true. Just
I
across
like
the
your
lake from where
style.
his current residence is. Good job. Lauren.
Yeah.
Nice
Don't
play.
leave the lake.
Incidentally,
Live among the lakes.
Once you go to water, you don't leave the water.
right?
You're gonna go.
Weren't these aquariums on like a aquarium show?
Yeah, I think he was on that show. I think they did do. The boys watched that show a few years back. They're from Clearwater or Fort Lauderdale or some of those guys, or maybe Tampa, that do those big aquariums.
Yeah,
They have a
that's
reality
right.
show. Yeah, I think
Yep.
that's a possibility. I believe that might have been the case.
Well, cool. Thanks for the whale of the week.
Well,
Yeah, thank you,
welcome.
Matt. That's
Yeah.
good whale.
Yep, let's just one more time. Until next week.
All right. We want to get your opinion. So if there's something you want to hear us talk about or something that you're like, please don't ever talk about again, let us know on that. But one of the things I thought would be fun for us to talk about is crazy stories in real estate. And one of them we were talking about before we went on air was an actual transaction that happened between Bo and I. I represented the seller, and Bo represented a pretty high-profile celebrity moving his parents to Windermere. So I'll kind of set the stage, and then when you're ready, Bo, just jump in. But this happened right kind of at the onset of COVID. So what was interesting is we had some up and downs. And by the way, this celebrity's parents are so lovely. They're the nicest people you would
Wonderful
possibly ever want to imagine. And they have stories that just would blow your mind. And we're not going to talk about who this celebrity is, but it was pretty crazy to hear.
That's because we're ethical, Matt.
I know. We have that. We have that.
We have a code of ethics that we follow.
That's right. So anyway, the situation came where we had to go through a couple of hiccups along the way. We had an ice machine that was leaking.
Yep,
Bo,
that was fun. Yep. Nobody was in the house. The ice maker. Well, it's all suspect exactly what all happened, but somehow between inspections and closing, I don't know, somehow a water line for the ice maker drain line somehow was dislodged from its drain. And so while nobody was in the house, the water decided to hang out in the house for a few days.
and Lauren, what happens when water just hangs out in the drywall for days or
Ooh,
weeks?
that's not good. That can form something that we call mold here in Florida. It also
Absolutely.
can cause water damage.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
Ding, ding, ding. And all of the above. So fortunately, it only happened for a few days. Fortunately,
Yes.
it was contained in an interior wall that we could access from both sides. And we got it remedied.
I'll speak on behalf of the seller. Did an awesome job
Yeah.
taking ownership of it, taking care of it, because he wasn't living there at the time. The funny part of the story, and I don't know if Bo remembers this, but we got to the closing time when we were supposed to close. Do you remember this?
I do remember this.
So the title company schedules a mobile closer. Now, if you're not familiar with a mobile closer does, they go to somebody's house typically or meet them somewhere and have them sign all the closing documents. Well, remember what I said in the beginning, we were in COVID. So the
celebrity,
the closer shows up at the gate of the celebrity's house, and I'll let you take it from there, Bo.
Well, I mean, it was just one of those things. Obviously, it was a scary time for a lot of people, and this particular individual had a serious phobia, rightfully so, as a lot of people in the world. of COVID. And so, of course, the closing had been set up and the mobile closer had showed up to the home only to be told that they were not allowed access in any way, shape, or form, and that they individual would be happy to sign after COVID was over.
Literally after COVID was over. I'm like, we were.
Well, that's going to be a minute.
Yeah. So we kind of we reassessed the situation, but the mobile closer was there, wasn't being allowed into the house to sign. And I'll never forget that call from Bo. He's like, yeah, the buyer's not going to allow them into the house. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. And this is before they've solved this problem at this point now with online type of closing systems that they have, but they didn't have any of that back then. So it was all in. You had to be in person. Yeah. So I think it was a good week or so before we finally got
We finally somehow got closed, kid. All right.
We did get it closed.
38 minutes into the show.
I thought that was a funny story. Anyway,
that is a good real estate story.
I wish we could share who it was, because it would have been a more let's just say he's been on Super Bowl ads multiple times. But I digress. Anyway, Lauren, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't. No, not today. But what I will say is we've got some exciting stuff coming up for our next podcast. We're going to have a guest on the show. We're going to work it out. There's going to be 4 of us. So that's a lot of people, I have to say. But we are excited because we're going to have a guest. We're going to continue talking about cool openings that we have or upcoming events that might be exciting to our listeners. We're also going to bring you real estate news because, that's what we do. We're also going to be drinking that bourbon.
Get that bourbon.
So stay with us. And if you have any suggestions.
Have a final cheers.
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 Cheers to y'all.
Cheers, guys, to another great show.
We hope.
Thank you for listening. Again, I'm Lauren.
And I'm Matt Allen.
And I'm Bo Julian.
And thank you for letting us be in your ears.
Bye-bye.
That's my favorite. Bye-bye.